Sorry, my phone's ringing. Welcome to our live Q&A. My name is Tracy Matson. I'm a certified professional dog trainer and a professional behavior consultant. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. I forgot to put the chat up, so I want to do that. I'm excited to be here to answer all of your dog training questions and any other topics that you want to talk about. I'm also going to be taking names down for our drawing. Hello, Renee, that we will do at about 7. Let's see, what is today? The 21st. Hello, Nicole. So I have Renee and Nicole. Lonnie, all my regulars are here. I'm so excited. Let me just write down names and then we can get started. I'm doing well. Thanks, Renee. It's, did I have a day off today? What is today? My days run together. So I had a client that then canceled. So I went to take one of my employees to lunch. And then I've just been working on training plans and stuff like that. So, okay, you guys are going to laugh at this. So you guys that are I know there's somebody from Alaska, Arkansas. So I was at the elementary school last week because 2 of my dogs I'm getting behind. I'll try to talk and write at the same time. Kirsten, yes, I'm still buried in snow, but it's getting better. We've had a couple of sunny days, although last night I was down in Salt Lake City at my mom's and I had to drive home in a freaking blizzard and it was awful. But today it was sunny out, so anyway, okay, so I was at this elementary school. 2 of my dogs are therapy dogs, and they have this big rug, and it's all of the states, and then on around it, it had all of the abbreviations. So you guys don't when I make the little slips to do the drawing, I can never remember AL or AK or AR. And I don't want to put the wrong state, so I always just write it out. I write out Alabama, Arkansas, Alaska. I just write those out. So I was trying to memorize the states and their abbreviations again because it's been super long since I've been in school. And so while the kids were reading to the dogs, I was trying to rememorize the states and their abbreviations, especially the A's, because it seems like there's 3 and it's hard to know which one's which because they all have similar letters. So okay, let's see. Oklahoma. Let me go back because I don't want to miss anybody. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking back. Renee, remind me. Oh, Iowa. Never mind, I found it. Iowa, right? Oh, that's another one I can never remember. So I just write it out, but it's short. Okay, so I have Renee, Nicole, Lonnie. Oh, Kirsten. Oh, see, Arkansas. Shireen. Good evening, Shireen. Renee Miller. I have Renee McCall and Renee Miller. Louisiana. And then, like right now, where I'm under pressure well, not pressure, but I'm trying to get everybody's name down. I can't think. So I'm still writing them all the way out until I get better at it. Yeah, super windy. It's been really windy here too. I mean, it's always windy when a storm is blowing in. Um, so yeah, we get the wind and the snow and everything. Renee, my girl gets tested again to see if we are good for heartworm, so we don't have to go through that again. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yes, it is. So, Facebook user that says checking in from Wisconsin. If you want to let me know where you're from, because it just says Facebook user, I will enter you in the drawing. So, a good friend of mine, actually, I'm wearing the rescue shirt, Handsome Dan's Rescue. My friend's foster dog that I'm like totally obsessed with, he just tested positive for heartworm, which is really sad. So I just donated money to them for heartworm medication, because from what I understand, it's pretty expensive, right, Renee? I don't even know how much it is. I've never had a dog with heartworm. We when I worked at the shelter, we had a couple dogs with heartworm, and I know they went through all of the medication, or the medication stuff, but I never really knew how much it cost. So, um, okay, I have Shireen, I have Margaret. Margaret and Shireen, you guys must know each other. And then Margaret, tell me where you're from again. Margaret B. Oh, Catherine Calvetti. Okay. Wow, we got a lot of people tonight. Wisconsin. Amanda Hagen. Hello, Amanda. I can't remember where you're from. If you can tell me. Oh, Washington State for Margaret. I know you've been on here before, Amanda, but I cannot remember. I'm trying to keep a master list so that I don't have to ask people. Oh, Wisconsin. I found it. So we have two people from Wisconsin. Janice. Hello, Janice. Ohio. Okay. Renee, our Gertie is feeling better. Couldn't go number 2 last time. She also stopped trying to eat stuff on the ground. Well, that's good. Whenever a dog, like, are you talking about like rocks and stuff like that? Because um that's always good. Let's see, Shireen, I'm on Facebook Live. It's odd I can't see everyone or their chat. Weird. Um yes, Brian and Renee, I did get you guys. Yeah, I can see everybody's chat. So see if there's a setting. Brian, I know where you guys are from. Oh, animal stuff. Okay. Well, that's good that he's not trying to eat that stuff off the ground. Um that's always a good thing. Um Shows, yeah, there's probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 12 online, and I'm not sure why you're not seeing um the chat. There's a little button that I have to like push so that the chat comes up. So see if there is like some kind of setting so that you can see the chat. And then Karen, oh my goodness, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name. Jurejovic. How'd I do? Jurejovic. And I know you're from Pennsylvania, but where are you originally from? Like, where's your last name from? Jefcic, Pennsylvania. Um, so can the rest of you guys see all of the chat? Like, can you see when people get on and put their name and where they're from? Oh, yeah, that works. So I probably was not close, but um, okay. So everybody, some people can see the chat and some can't. So it might be a setting on your computer where you have to enable it. So not exactly sure. Um, I'm not exactly sure how to fix that. And some people can see some of it. Oh yeah, I guess it could be different if you're on your phone or the um, computer. And Lonnie says click live chat, and then you should be able to see the chat. Okay, so let's get started with topic. I haven't really thought of a topic yet this week, and I did get on this past week and answer some questions on the Facebook group, but I know what I will talk about. Just because I know Zach George got on and talked about this in a live video as well, and this has kind of become a heated topic in the dog training world, and that is the use of punishment. So when we talk about punishment, remember that the good supplements. I would ask your vet on that because I'm not sure. I would say like you could go on the Pupford site and I think they have um, supplements. Well, no, I don't think they do have actual supplements. Yeah, I would ask your vet just because there are different like joint supplements. I know you can't go wrong with like Cosequin or Dasequin. I do those kinds for um, my dog Maddie. Okay, for the Chiweenie, yes, I'm going to hurry and talk about. Well, actually, I'll start answering questions, and then if we have time at the end, we can talk about punishment. So my 5-month-old Chiweenie is getting spayed Thursday. Anything I need to know? Um, I mean, not really. Just keeping your dog calm because your dog's going to have sutures, and so leash walks only for like 7 to 10 days, probably 10 days. And then depending on what kind of sutures they use, you may have to go back and have them taken out or they might just dissolve. But you want to not let your dog get wet, which I know right now is really hard with all of the snow, but you don't want that area to get wet. And you want to keep them relatively calm. So, like, not a lot of jumping, running up and down stairs, just so they can't tear those stitches. So my dog Jade had a little cyst taken off of her foot one time, and I had to go back 3 times because she kept chewing her stitches, or she would run and pop her stitches. And like, I didn't think this foot was ever going to heal. And I tried booties. I had booties, and then I not Velcro, vet wrapped them to her leg, and she kind of found a way to get to her foot every single time. So I had to tether her to me, watch her all the time because she's a very active, energetic, rambunctious dog. And so to keep her calm and tearing her stitches was really, really hard. So I finally just tethered her to me, and I had to keep her with me all the time and watch her so that she wouldn't pull her booty off, that she wouldn't lick her foot and chew her stitches out. So yeah, I know that the more calm, and then as far as, if your dog is a licker, I would get the cone. I know people don't like the cone of shame and dogs don't really love it, but that's what I also did that with my dog as I put the cone on her. As much as she didn't like it, I was able to get her to leave her foot alone because she couldn't reach it. So some dogs just don't lick at all. But if your dog is a licker, then I would definitely do the cone. Um, yeah, and so Lonnie, and it's really not that bad. Like it's pretty easy as far as just doing leash walks, and most dogs heal really well. And as long as you can just like keep them calm and keep them from licking. So like when I had to go to work, I would put a cone on Jade, put her in the crate, and just let her chill there. And then when I got home, we would do like short leash walks so she could go potty, and then that was it. If you're there and supervising, then you don't really need the cone because you can stop them from licking. So, but if I was gone, then um oh, so you know what, Brian? I bought one of those pillow things, like the things that go around the neck. It did not work for my dog because she could still get her head around to her foot and lick. So I did have one of those and I ended up taking it back. It might work for a spay because the stitches are in a different spot, so she might not be able to get around and lick the spay incision. So yeah, it might work for a spay, but for a foot, um, yeah, it did not work. So I took it back. But yeah, that's another one that isn't as invasive as the cone. Um, yeah, so let's see. Let me go back and oh, Nicole, Super Pup on Pupford, a supplement. I'll have to check that out. Oh, yeah. So Lonnie, if yours is a liquor and really high energy, it is going to be kind of a hard thing because I know keeping my dog calm for 10 days was really rough. Um, get things like I know people have commented down like lick mats, um, Kongs, things that they can lick. You could even do like an enrichment box. I know I've talked about them before, but like save your Amazon, your Pupford boxes, and then, put some peanut butter in, throw in some kibble, treats, vegetables, close it up and give it to your dog. And then they have to figure out how to open it up and they can tear and chew and shred, but it keeps them busy and it keeps them occupied and it's really good enrichment. So I would do like stuff like that as well while your dog's is recovering. And yeah, I mean, sometimes they might whine and cry if they're crated, but trust me, it's much better to just endure that than having to keep going back to the vet because the stitches, you know, get popped or chewed. Where did I come up with that? Chewed. So, okay, good. And if you can be with her all the time and you have the Kongs, that's perfect. I mean, some dogs will lick, especially when it starts to heal, because I'm sure it's like humans where it starts to itch, like when it's healing. So, that's when dogs kind of want to start like scratching with their teeth or licking. Um, so, yeah, just keeping them busy. Um, okay, Shireen. Um, Personally, I'm wearing down with dealing with the jumping up on people. I have tried everything and she will not stop, so I had to crate her. Then she barks. I've never had to deal with this for so long. Plus, I'm concerned when we get to the spay time, how I'm going to keep her calm. I'll need the meds, not my dogs. Um, okay, I've never used a surgery recovery suit. So if anybody else has, that would be great. Um, and my dog's a jumper. Jade is a jumper. Um, and so it's been hard. So when you do um, get this spay, a couple things I would recommend. If you're not home to supervise, then just crate her. If you are home, put her on a leash, and then if people come over, just step on the leash so that she can't jump. Um, I've had dogs. So I went into somebody's house once, and they had this little kind of shepherd husky mix that was the worst jumper I have ever encountered in my entire life. Like, jumped, I turned my back, the dog was on my back, um, getting caught in my hair. And I was turning my back, asking for a sit, rewarding the sit, and then the dog would jump again. And I was trying to set up my computer, and the dog was jumping on the table and like just all in my business. And the owners just stood there and watched and like did nothing. And so finally, because this dog was so hyper, and I couldn't get this dog to stop jumping, even with redirecting treats. The dog didn't know stay. Unfortunately, this dog was like 2 or 3 years old, and they had done zero training. So the dog knows sit, and that's it. They had not done any training. So I asked them to put the dog on a leash and just kind of step on the leash, and so that I could get set up and at least get my computer set up, because I always take notes when I'm working with new clients, just so I remember, like, what we talk about and what handouts to send them and stuff like that. And that worked. And so then, and it took about an hour. When the dog was calm, I let them step off the leash and give the dog freedom. If the dog started jumping a lot again, I would turn my back, walk away, ask them to step on the leash. And finally, by the end, the other thing I did is every time the dog was calm and was sitting or laying down and not jumping, I was rewarding. So as I was talking to them, I would just like, click treat. And I would say, oh, good settle. Click, drop a treat. Every single time the dog had 4 feet on the floor, I was rewarding. And pretty soon the dog did learn, if I jump, I'm not going to get any attention. I'm not going to get treats. And they're going to step on my leash. And so finally, we didn't have to step on it anymore. Um, because even after I got my computer set up, like, the dog was trying to get up in my lap. And like, this is a big dog. It's not like it was a little Chiweenie, it was a big dog. So, I was worried about her breaking something. So, um, anyway, and they didn't crate. So they don't crate the dog. So we couldn't just put the dog in a crate. But the dog finally learned what was going to get her attention and treats. And then we were finally able to kind of build off of that. And then I started by teaching impulse control. So like, wait for treats, wait for food, wait to go out the door, sit and wait, and then I'll pet you. So just teaching that impulse control. Um, and another thing, Shireen, is you can ask your vet for meds for your dog. Not just pain meds, but just say, my dog jumps on people and has like so much energy, and they can prescribe you something to keep your dog's energy level down during that recovery time. So I don't think that they'll give you meds, but you could probably get meds for you from your doctor, and then get something like that um, from your vet, just to help keep your dog calm. You could also try CBD. Um, I know sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So, um, Yeah, if you have one that works, you could do that. I know Pupford doesn't sell any kind of CBD stuff, so I think I'm safe in recommending. I think it's called Dr. Hemp Dog, and I think they have a line of CBD that people really like. Um, so yes, I know it's hard. So Shereen, one thing I want you to do is again, you have to be really consistent with telling other people not to reinforce your dog, because I feel you. I know exactly where you're coming from, because I'm trying to train Jade to be a service dog, and every single time we go in public, people want to pet her, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, she's so cute. I want to take her home, and look at those ears." And it gets her excited, and then she jumps up to say hi, because she's a little pit mix, so she's not real tall. And I get so irritated with people, because I'm like, please turn your back. And if people say, "Can I pet her?" I know, I mean, it's owner choice as to whether they want to let you pet their service dog or not. So I usually say yes, as long as she's not jumping. If she jumps, then turn your back. And then also, I've taught her off. So if she jumps, I'll say, "Hey, off." And then I'll ask somebody, "Okay, stop petting her." And then when she sits, then they can pet her again. But um, so it's harder to train the people, because even if just one person reinforces your dog for jumping, then the dog learns that sometimes it works. So it's like gambling or playing slot machines. It's like, well, sometimes it works, so I'm going to keep trying, because sometimes I get reinforced for it. Um, so yes, I totally know it's hard, and it's been an ongoing battle for me as well. I've had my dog 3 years now, and she's getting better, but she will still jump because people let her. And I'm not always quick enough to tell her off, or tell people, like, please don't pet her if she's jumping up. So yes, I totally get it. Um, you could try, like, when you're meeting people, they have those leashes that are long, and then they have the other handle that's kind of right up closer. So when you're meeting somebody, you could grab that other handle that's shorter, and then ask your dog to sit. Um, so you're not like really forcing them, holding them down, but if you're holding onto that shorter handle, they're not going to be able to jump as easily. So I totally feel your pain as far as that. Um, if you can get one more, and then I'll answer some others. If you can get somebody to help you, have a stranger come over, and every time your dog jumps on them, have them turn their back. And then, when they turn their back and walk away, as soon as her feet touch the ground, click drop a treat. I also drop the treat instead of giving it to them, because it forces their nose to go to the ground. Um, and so I saw another trainer do this, and this was a dog that was really, really jumpy. And after about 5 minutes, the dog wasn't jumping as much, because the person was ignoring them and walking away. And as soon as all 4 feet were on the ground, they were marking that and rewarding it. So it did jump, or it did cut down on the jumping quite a bit. So consistency is key. Inflatable pillow didn't work for Moose, but he seemed to like it and used it to lay. Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, they weren't cheap, so I returned it. Um, okay. Do you have any recommendations for a heavy chewer? I've tried so many things. Yes. I have 3 super chewers, and I have found that as far as toys, Kong products work really, really well. Um, and like this is from Pupford, and you can see the end is chewed, but this lasts quite a long time. I'm gonna go grab one of the Kong toys that I just bought for my dog. Oh, let me show you something else I just bought. Okay. So I bought these. Um, these were in a, a store where they groom dogs, but they have a little boutique. And these are supposed to be for super chewers, and it said like indestructible. And I'm like, yeah, there's no such thing as indestructible. So I bought three of these because I have three dogs just to see if they could be destroyed. And so far, this is one I haven't opened yet. I'm going to open it and give it to Willie. Um, so far, the other two that I have out have not been destroyed, but it feels kind of like rubber band. Like it's not super soft material. I mean, it's like a little squishy, so like they could sink their teeth into it. But so far, they have not been able to destroy these. So hopefully, I won't mess this up. Here, Willie, you want that? You want that? Here, go get it. He is my ball chaser. Loves to chase balls. The reason I didn't open all three of them at once is because the first one that I opened ended up outside in the snow, and I can't open my back door yet because of the ice, and so they use the doggy doors to go out. So they can go out, but I haven't been able to go out and bring his toy back in. Let me show you another one that I bought. Get it, Willie. Okay, so this is another Kong toy, and the ends squeak. Here, Jade. So, oh, I was going to show you, but she already took it. My dogs have not been able to destroy that yet, and I've had it 3 months. So, that one. These are called Zogo Flex, and you can put like treats inside of them or like peanut butter, but my dogs just like to chew on them. These they have not destroyed yet. So I know that like BarkBox has stuff for super chewers. I've never tried that because I just get my own toys. Like if I see something and think, oh well, I'll try that and see if it lasts, and it usually does. So yes, anything from Kong, and then these Zogoflex ones are pretty good. I've also had really good luck with the Pupford, the Soda Pup pack. They have the like the bus and stuff like that. I've given those to my dogs, and they have not chewed those up. So I think those are good as well. So you can try those. Um, let's see, Amanda. I have Huskies and Spayed 2 this far. What worked the best for us was a few slow walks a day. Yes, I noticed the more slow walks I did, the better they were and faster they healed. Oh, that's awesome. So thank you for sharing that. Because yes, that's great advice. I had to do that as well with a foster dog that I had. He wasn't spayed, but he he had an injury down there, and he had to have his sheath. So he belonged to somebody, and he actually got with a female dog, and they were stuck together. They were like mating. They got stuck together, and the owner didn't know not to pull them apart, and they pulled the dogs apart, and it desheathed him. They didn't go to the vet right away, and he swelled up to the size of a grapefruit. So once they took him to the vet, the owner said, well, we can't afford to pay the vet bill, so we'll just surrender him. So a rescue picked him up. They had to sew his sheath back on. And he was like an 8-month-old pit bull that had so much energy. Oh my gosh. And so that's what I did with him is short leash walks. And then I created him with like stuffed Kongs and things to lick while he was in there. And he healed great. He got adopted. So yes, it all worked out. Oh, yeah. So this is something good to consider too. Is um yeah. So Brian says they put Peyton in the crate with the cone on, and now she won't go back in. So yes, I didn't think about that. I've created my dogs before with cones on. But I think because I had done crate training before that, they didn't associate the crate with the cone. So then after the cone came off, like they still went in their crate. So Amanda said she's heard great things about the spacesuit. Great for dogs that don't like congs or cones. I'll have to look that up because I haven't heard of that. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never used it. Um, okay, Margaret, I have a terrier who is 17 months. I'm going to get him fixed in the next few months. I don't feel as though we have bonded. Um, oh, this is interesting. This is a good topic. I have been searching on the Facebook and YouTube, but I can't find information on what bonding with your dog looks like. This is not my first dog, but it is my first terrier. Okay, so um, some things. Okay, well, I'll tell you when I got my first search and rescue dog, and you're probably already doing this. Our trainer told us for the first. So my dog was 2 years old when I got him. He came from Canada, Lonnie. He was an awesome dog. He was trained as a police dog, but he wouldn't hold a bite, so they sold him as a search and rescue dog. Hang on, my lips are getting dry. So our trainer said for the first 2 weeks, I don't want you to do any like training as far as like search and rescue or anything like that. He goes, all I want you to do is feed your dog and go for walks and bond that way. So I did feeding. And then also, if I'm in a client home and there's a dog who hasn't bonded with one of the owners, I have that owner be the one to feed. And you're probably already feeding your dog, but that is one way for you to do it, is just you be the one to feed your dog and then go on walks together. Some other things you can do are fun enrichment things like have the snuffle mat come from you. Do a game like um, the Kong Wobbler, or this is the smaller version, but interact with them. So instead of just giving them the toy and having them do it on their own, like help them and tip it over for them. And oh my gosh, look, the treat just fell out. The other thing to do is just basic training. Anytime you're interacting with your dog and you're doing reward, like stuff where your dog gets rewarded, that's going to help increase the bond with your dog. So doing basic stuff like hand targeting, sit, down, stay, and then make sure. I always tell people to use their dolphin voice or find their inner teenage girl and do like, oh, good girl, good job, good boy, oh, you're such a smart dog. And the higher pitch you can get that to dog in dog language, that is play, and that's good. So interacting, other things you can do like on walks, take some treats and throw them into the snow or grass or wherever you're at and tell your dog to go hunt. So then walks become really fun, and then you can encourage your dog like, oh, find it, look, where are all the treats, and get them using their nose in the snow or the grass or the gravel or whatever, and just doing that kind of stuff with your dog. And sometimes I think it does take longer for some dogs to bond. I know when I adopted Hallie, she was a dogfighting survivor and very, very shy and shut down. And it took a long time for her to trust me and really get that bond, but we did eventually. So you just kind of have to keep at it. Another thing you could do is T-touch, like T-touch massage, because your dog is calm and you're doing massage. Let's see if I have the book. Okay, so I got this from Amazon, and this is just called Getting in T-touch with Your Dog, and it's just a kind of massage that you can do, and that that's a really good way to help your dog like relax, but it's also a really good way for you to like bond with your dog as well. So try any of that. Kimberly, puppy is 11 weeks old and is growling at other puppies. Um, okay, so it depends on the growl. I mean, sometimes when puppies play, they will growl, or if they're frustrated that they can't get to another puppy, they'll growl. Um, so this is kind of where we differ from veterinarians. I'm talking about behavior consultants and trainers. Right now is your dog's really critical time to socialize. So, Kimberly, if you can find a positive reinforcement puppy class where you live that does all science based training, I would get your puppy in. Um, I take dogs at 8 weeks, and they only have to have their first set of shot. Now, that doesn't mean that you're okay to just go out and meet every dog on the street because you don't know if they've been vaccinated. But in all the years that I've been doing classes, I've never had a dog get sick, like kennel cough or parvo distemper, like none of that, because they already have some of the vaccines in their body, and all the dogs have the same. But their critical learning period and their fear period is between um, 10 to 14 weeks of age. So right now it's really, really critical. So it would depend. I would have to see a video of what the growl looks like, because I've seen a lot of puppies play that growl a lot. I have a dog that growls a lot when she plays. That's just part of her play style. Um, so it can be normal. And you don't ever want to like stop a growl, because sometimes, again, it can be part of their play behavior or their play style, or it could mean like, I'm not comfortable, I want you to move away. So it could be a fear thing too. And it's just their way of communicating. So we actually don't want to punish the growl or stop the growl, because if we do, then the dog will go right to biting, because in their mind it's like, well, so it's no different than you being in the store and saying, hey dude, could you please stand 6 feet back, I don't want to get COVID. That's all a growl is to a dog, is saying like, I'm not comfortable, please don't come any closer or stand back. So we don't ever want to stop um, or anything like that. Now, if your puppy is playing and is starting to get over threshold, and like doing some growling that's not just a play style, then what I do is I just give them a 1 minute timeout. So I'll just say, oh, let's separate these two. Okay, come on, you guys. You guys are going to sit out for a minute. It's like they're not in trouble. We're just trying to take they're going over threshold, so we just want to bring their threshold level down. So, so yes, if your dog is like in your arms, it could be a frustration thing. It could be a fear thing. So that's why I would really try to get in a good puppy class. You can get on, I'm going to put these two, CCPDT and IAABC. I just put it in the chat. And it's just .com. Oh, hey, Andrea. I'll make sure I get you down. Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm just seeing these down to the bottom. If his tail's in between his legs, he's scared. So you want to introduce him in a really positive way. Allow him to back away if he wants. Like, don't force him to meet a dog. But I would say it's going to be really important to get your dog in a good puppy class where they do the socialization at the end. But there's a good and a bad way to do socialization. So these are both .com. So ccpdt.com, IAABC.com. You can put in your zip code, and trainers near you will come up. And so I would, contact one, see when they're doing their next puppy class, and see if you can get your dog in a puppy class. Because the socialization is going to be important. Again, like when I do it, it's not a free for all play. I introduce 2 dogs at a time. I never force 2 dogs to interact. If one wants to back away, they can. And then sometimes it takes dogs a few weeks to decide to play. Like they'll just, hi Dylan. Sometimes they'll just watch and they just kind of want to hide behind their mom or their owner and watch. If they're hiding, trying to get away from dogs, I have owners pick them up, but not like baby them or soothe them or coddle them, because that can be reinforcing and can lead to like learned helplessness. But I introduce them slowly and then let them play, and then I'll introduce another dog in, and pretty soon all the dogs are playing. But again, it's not just a free for all, because I don't want some dogs to be like totally overwhelmed and scared more. So you want to make sure that they are, doing the socialization correctly. Okay, let me get some names that I missed. Hi, Willie. Willie's been really frustrated because he took his ball out and it's stuck down in the snow thing and I can't get it out. And so now he's upset because he doesn't have his other ball. Where'd your orange one go? Did you take it outside already? The one that I just unwrapped to show you guys. It looks like it's already outside. Julie, hello Julie. I'll make sure I get you on this time. Okay. Oh, Renee, good to know. Super chewer boxes, the toys last long, but they get repetitive. Yeah. I mean, and I have 3 dogs, so maybe here, do you want to try this? Want this one? I need to start rotating toys again. That's another thing that I usually do, is rotate the toys so that my dogs don't get tired of the same ones all the time. Because I've just given Willie like 2 or 3 toys and he doesn't want any of them. So I have to start rotating them again, because then he forgets about them, and then when they come out again, he's excited. Oh, Gil. Oh, let's see. I threw it away. Let's see. Let me get the wrapper out again, and I'll tell you what it is. They come in all these colors, which is cool. It's gowacky.us. So www. Oh, here, I'll just type it. gowacky.us. Yeah. Oh yeah, Willie would not know. Willie would not know how to draw something. He would just look at it and say, well, that doesn't look very good. Okay, let me go up and answer a few, and then I'll do a drawing. Oh, and you know what? I don't care if I upset people. If they say, oh, I don't care if she jumps, I say, well, I do. She's in training. And so I don't care if I offend people. In fact, I will tell you, my friends own a salon. Come here. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Oh, this guy is not happy because his ball went outside in the snow and now he can't get it because it went down a snowbank, and Mom can't get it either, huh? So why don't you just chill and say hi to everybody? Yeah, because I can't get your ball till spring, probably. So we're just going to have to stay there. This is Willy Wonka. He goes to school tomorrow. Kids read to him. So we go to the elementary school, and the kids love him, and they read books to him, and he's actually really good. He'll just lay down and let them pet him. He sheds like crazy though. So, okay, where was I? Oh, so I used to take Jade to my friend's store, salon, and stuff, and they would always let her jump. They know that I don't want it. They wouldn't turn their back. They wouldn't ask her to sit. So I finally said, one time I went and they said, "Well, where's Jade?" And I'm like, "She doesn't get to come here anymore because you guys let her jump and she's going to fail her test. And so you guys are condoning bad habits, so she doesn't get to come anymore." And I think they were a little offended, but guess what? I don't care because they're not helping with the training, so they don't get to see her. Okay, let's do a drawing and then I can stay on for like another 10 minutes and answer some questions. So let me get all these mixed up. I should teach Willie how to draw one. It was hard enough teaching Jade. Sometimes she just looks at me like, "Well, what's that? It's just paper." Okay. Tonight's winner is Margaret from Washington State. So congratulations, Margaret. So what you're going to do is email hello at pupford.com. And oh, what should we give away tonight? Let's see, what did we give away last week? Snuffle mat. Since we talked about Super Chewers, how about we give away the Soda Pup toys? We'll do that. And Margaret, if you already have them, just tell them, like, "I already have those. Can I have a bag of training treats?" And let them know what kind of training treats you want, and they will send those to you. So, yeah, congratulations. Willie, okay, so Willie's name, his name was Tonka at the rescue, and I liked it, but my other trainer says, like, "Can we change the name? I don't like that name." I liked it, but anyway, I knew that I was going to turn him into a therapy dog, and I wanted something that kids could really remember. And so I chose, and he walks like a walrus. So because of his injury, he drags his back feet and his front feet are like turned out, and he walks like a walrus. So I was going to name him Willy Walrus, but then Willy Wonka like just came. Kids know what Willy Wonka is, and so his name is Willy Wonka Tonka. So we kept the Tonka, Willy Wonka, and it's like the kids come in and they're like, "Where's Willy Wonka? Which one's Willy Wonka?" Because they just know who that is. So that's how his name came to be. Okay, let me go back and answer a few more questions. Let's see, Nicole, I just had something really scary happen. Earlier, Wilma was barking at the front door. I didn't pay attention, thinking somebody was just walking by. Then I hadn't seen her for a while, and I called her and she didn't come. But I hear her whining like she's trying to get in. She was outside and has never been able to let herself out before. Oh my gosh. So did she open the door herself? If you have the kind of door that has like the handle that pulls down, like not the round ones, but the handle, we had some dogs at the rescue that would jump on those and could open the door. So our handyman guy turned the handle over. So then I was always one to go and like, okay, this isn't working. I would forget that then the humans have to pull it up to open the door. But then if the dogs jump on it, they can't push it down. So yeah, you might have to try that. That is scary though, and I'm glad that she was outside trying to get back in. Let's see. Oh, okay, Gil. Hi, Gil. Oh, yes, I did add you. My mini Aussie has started to paw claw me to get attention. Is this a bad thing? Um, it depends on you. If you don't mind it, um, then you can let your dog do it. If it's something like my dog Maddie, she's got big feet, and even though I trim her nails, when she paws me, it hurts. Like it actually hurts. So if she does that, I will ignore her, um, or I will say, "Hey, that hurts," and then I'll ask her to do something else. So I will interrupt it, and then I'll ask her to do something else, like just to sit or a down, like probably a down for this, because if she's sitting, she can still paw, but if she's laying down, she can't. So I'll ask her to lay down, and then I'll reward her for the down. So it kind of just depends on whether, um, if it doesn't bother you and it doesn't hurt. I would think like a mini Aussie isn't gonna hurt as much as a 60-pound pit bull. But yeah, so it is kind of up to you. The downside is if she does it to you, I'm saying she, but I don't know if it's a male or female. I'll just say she, and I'm sorry if it's wrong. If she does it to you, she might do it to other people, thinking like it's okay. So if somebody has on slacks that can snag easy, that could be a problem. So actually, what I would do is put it on cue and teach your dog, like, so when your dog paws you, you can click and treat or mark and treat, and then name it something. So whatever you want to name it, like paw, um, I'll end up doing like a high five or something like that. So you could name it, and then if your dog does it and you don't ask for it, you could just say, "Oh, I didn't ask for that, sorry," and then ignore. If you don't want your dog to do it at all, then I would just ignore it. And then if it never gets rewarded, your dog will finally just stop doing it. So, yeah, that's what I would do. Um, let's see, Shireen, how old is your dog? I know, and a lot of people don't know about that critical socialization period. Um, you know, they're doing like studies. It's coming out now that there's another critical learning period at about 7 months. So it's not like after 4 months old you're just doomed. And even after this time, you can still do desensitization and counter conditioning. So if you don't get your dog used to other dogs or garbage trucks or anything like that, it's not that all is lost. It's not. You can still, you just can't socialize, but you can change a dog's emotional response. So, what we would do in the case of like the 11-week-old is like every time, well, and you can still kind of do this now. Every time your dog sees another dog, treat. And like, oh, look, there's a dog, treat. So that instead of being like, I'm really scared, I don't like dogs, so I'm going to growl, it's like, oh, I love other dogs because I get chicken. Or usually when I'm trying to do an association type thing, I will use Pupford salmon treats. And I've recently started using the shrimp. Um, I have to be honest, they make your hands stink, and I'm not a fan of fish, but it works really good, and the dogs love it. So I just use them and I wash my hands. But you can change that socialization. So if you've missed out on that, critical socialization period, depending on your dog, you might still have, that 7-month-old window. I'll have to read more studies about that. It's pretty new, but it's actually really cool. But you can do counter conditioning. So when I'm working with dogs, okay, so example, I'll give you this example and then I'll let you guys go. So I'm working with a dog right now that's very fearful of other dogs, and he's about 18 months old now. And so He did go to puppy class, but the trainer, I don't think, was really knowledgeable as far as how to run a play group and the appropriate way to do it. And sometimes it can actually scare dogs. So we did um, like counter conditioning. So what I did is I got my dog. First, I used like a stuffed dog. If you have a really good neutral dog that you can use, great. Not everybody has access to those, so you can use, a fake dog to start with. But we brought the dog out, and every time that dog would look at my dog, I would click treat. Now, if the dog was growling, or like doing calming signals like yawns or lip licks or things like that, then I would move further away. So you want to start at a distance where your dog can just look at another dog and be calm. So, like, not growl. And every time your dog looks at the other dog, click treat. So, two things are happening. We're pairing the other dog with yummy treats, and we're teaching the dog a different behavior. Instead of growling, lunging, or barking, or any of those things, just notice a dog and you'll get rewarded for it. Then you can slowly start to close in, and I mean really slowly. Like, I'll do 10 repetitions at one distance, and then I literally go one step closer. Um, and it's a little more involved than that because I always ask the dog if they want to go closer. I'll say, "You ready to move closer?" And I'll take one step. If the dog moves with me, then great. Then we work at that distance. If the dog doesn't move with me, I go back to them. So again, it's choice and control. I don't ever force a dog to get closer to something that they're scared of if they don't want to. So, um, if you're having issues with fear related behaviors, it's good, to get on one of those two sites and find, um, a trainer or behavior consultant like in your area that can help you through that. So, um, yeah, not a lot of people, like your average dog owner, is not going to know about critical socialization windows. So you just do the best you can with what you know, but there's still definitely things that you can do. So this dog that I worked with, I mean, it took about 4 to 6 sessions of doing this, and the dog was able to meet my dog and play. So it absolutely, it doesn't work 100% of the time. Some dogs just don't like other dogs. But when it's fear, we also did medication with this dog to lower anxiety. So we did medication, we did, behavior modification, we changed the dog's emotional response. And then the dog was like, oh, yeah, this dog's cool, isn't threatening me, we can play. So, yeah, there are still things that you can do. So, like, don't worry. Um, okay, thanks for joining, you guys. This was like such a good group and such great questions. So I will see you next week, same day, probably either 6 or 6:30. I always have really good intent to go to the gym from 5 to 6, but I don't always make it. So yeah, that's why I'll know by Monday what my week's going to be like. So it'll either be at 6 or 6:30, always on Tuesdays. So yes, have a great week, and I will see you guys next week.